This is the Simply Love Jesus podcast, where we explore life and faith through the lens of one question, which is, what does it mean to simply love Jesus? My name is Caleb, and I'm chilling here with Mr. Griffin Stewart.
Hello.
We're just chilling out here. We just got done having lunch with some of our friends, and in the midst of this COVID-19 quarantine, the weather's really beautiful outside, and we were both chilling here, and we decided, you know what, we could be really great right now, record a podcast,
In a parking lot.
Exactly, in a parking lot. And so we are just standing here, and we're just hanging out. And for those who listen regularly to our podcast, we apologize. We haven't been able to upload every single week because most of us have just been so busy that it's thrown off our schedules, and we're trying to find a regular rhythm to be able to record weekly. And so we're trying to figure that out. But for right now, we're doing our best to at least make it bi-weekly. But I'm hoping soon we'll be able to find a proper rhythm, and we'll get back to recording every single week. But last episode, we really touched base on this whole virus and this quarantine, and really how to make the most of that time, how to make the most of your time in quarantine, and how even this quarantine presents opportunities to talk about Jesus. It presents opportunities to see ministry be something that we didn't necessarily expect. And so, Griffin, what are some ways that this quarantine is giving you opportunities to make ministry look a little different?
Yeah, it's definitely looked a lot different than it normally would, because normally I wouldn't go sitting in a parking lot 6 feet away from other people, but that's exactly what I did the other day, which is funny because I know one of the people that I talked to is actually probably going to be listening to this episode, so hi. Good conversation.
That's good. How are you back at school? So
no, well,
what's the situation with school?
So it's really confusing because we don't know when we're going to be done with school, but we're in online learning. My school started really late, so it's 20 minutes a day for each class, and then that's it. It's half the work, twice the time.
That's interesting. So is it official school grades, or is it I don't know, how is it all working?
Well, so I'm in all college classes. Pretty much I have one class that's not college credit, so I'm required to do all those classes, but if you're not in any college classes, you don't have to do any school.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. In our last podcast, I remember you had talked about how you feel like this quarantine has really restricted us from ministry. Do you feel like that's still the same, or do you feel like it's created different opportunities since then, or whatever?
I think in many ways it restricts us, and in many ways it enables us, but it definitely puts a giant twist on how we minister to others.
Yeah. What is now that we've been in this for a couple weeks now, and you've kind of lived this, you've tried to be creative, you've tried to find different opportunities, do you feel like there is going to be way more anticipation for when this is over and more opportunity coming out of that?
I hate to say it, but yes, there will be, but I think it's just going to be a small phase. I think it's going to last a couple weeks maybe, and then it's just going to be back to normal, which is something I don't really want, because I want people to keep desiring that personal connection with others.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's going to last really long.
Well, I mean, maybe at least for that small phase, there will be a big opportunity.
Yeah, we got to.
So really capitalize on that opportunity, especially if you're trying to create community, invite people into a community. I mean, it'll be the time, if you feel like you don't have a lot of friends in your life, it will be the time to just start meeting random people, because everyone will be itching for social connection, in my opinion. Well, what's your family been doing this whole time? They've just been...
We've been trying to stay active in any way we can, taking our dog on family walks and stuff. And yeah, I think it was yesterday. We, as a family, built a little raised garden bed.
Oh, nice.
And so, yeah, we've been doing a bunch of yard work and stuff and just trying to stay together. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. what do you feel like you've learned during this time? Like, what about God or the Bible? Do you feel like this whole scenario, this whole thing, do you think it's taught you like any lessons, or maybe illuminated certain things about the Bible or anything like that?
Looking back, the biggest thing I could probably take away from this is there's so many opportunities and so much time with people that I just take advantage of, and I don't use the way I should, because it's only when you have that time taken away from you that you want it back.
Yeah, for sure. The biggest thing I was learning, I shared it with our student ministry in one of our messages on Wednesday night. So how we've shifted gears for our student ministry is we took all of our messages online, and then right after we premiere our message online, we use Zoom, and people jump on the Zoom conference call, and then we get to talk about the message basically. And I shared this with all of our students, but I feel like this whole virus thing will be and is such a tangible, relevant example to teach people the narrative of the whole Bible. Like, if you bring it down to its core issue, this is basically creation and fall, and this is like, I was trying to illustrate it for them this way. I was like, if you think of it, you take a big step back, look at it from 10,000 feet high. You have something that's bad came into our world, and it caused chaos and disrupted everything, and because of this thing, nothing is the way it should be. Like, we should be able to have social interaction with people. We should be able to just walk into a Starbucks and order coffee without fearing for our life. We should be able to not have to wear masks everywhere we go, or wear gloves, or be very conscious of whether we're touching our face with our hands. Those are not the way things should be, but it now is a new normal, so to speak. And in fact, this thing is so dangerous that we've had to put laws in place to protect us from ourselves and others because of the damage that this virus does. And because of that, we're working really hard to get rid of this virus so that things can go back to the way they were supposed to be. And when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, man, you just like taught someone the Bible. Like, that's the same thing, because you could literally just replace the virus and put in evil, selfish nature, or sin as its as it's called in Scripture, or referred to as sin. But sin is just sin is just another word. It encompasses a lot of things, but sin is selfishness, the evil in the world. It's the impurity of humanity. It's just anything that is not of God, or not the way God originally intended. And so sin is a lot of things, but it's in this conversation, I specifically usually focus in on the selfish nature in our hearts, the evil that's in the world. And in the beginning, just like, this virus, in the beginning, everything was right, everything was good, but then sin came into the world and disrupted everything from the way it was supposed to be, and something brought chaos into the whole situation. And because of that, nothing is the way that it should be. We're separated from our relationship with God. We're distanced in our relationship from Him. We're distanced in the relationship with Him. Heaven and earth, we're separated and distanced from each other. And it's so dangerous that God put laws and commands on how to teach us what it means to get back to the way things are supposed to be, to protect us from ourselves and the nature and the evil in the world. It's so dangerous. And now, what is God trying to do? He's trying to work and to get us to work with Him in removing sin from the scenario, preparing the world for when Jesus comes and makes everything right again. And I was just taking a step back. That's the thing that's taught me, is just like, man, what a tangible example to teaching others about the love of Jesus and the origins of why everything is the way that it is. So
yeah, it's crazy because just like you said, there's one thing that coronavirus and sin have in common, and that's separation.
Yeah.
And just how the coronavirus separates us from one another, sin separates us from God. And I think that's just such a crazy parallel.
Yeah. Well, even more so, sin is it's just like sin. The virus is kind of this invisible enemy. It's this thing that it's affecting all of us, but you can't visibly see it. You can if you want to get technical, you can put a microscope underneath it and you can look at it, But you can do this very same thing when you look at our lives. You can put our lives and our hearts under a microscope, more of a spiritual microscope, and realize that the actions that we're doing, the things that we're choosing, the way that we're thinking, the way this world is, it's for a reason. And so we have this invisible force that you can't see with the naked eye, and it's affecting all of us. And just like that, sin is also this invisible force that it changes everything. So
yeah, just like how, like, even with the coronavirus, you can go, what is it, like 2 to 14 days without even knowing that you have it.
Yeah,
you can keep living your life not even knowing that, like, you're living in sin.
That's right. You can't. Yeah, it's this thing that, like, it's like the slow progressive thing in your life that you can be living your way, thinking you're doing what you're doing, having what in your mind is having fun, living a very promiscuous life, or whatever it is that you're doing, that you just live according to what I want and what makes me feel good. But the next thing you know, boom, it's just going to hit you out of nowhere, and realize where it's taking you into such a dark and broken place. And just like that virus, like, you can have it for 2 weeks before you actually start showing signs that you have it, and the next you know, it's like too late. You've already had it.
Yeah.
And then you bring it back around, you throw Jesus into the picture. Like, just like you need doctors to heal us from the virus, you need the good doctor, the good physician, to surgically remove the issue, the sin, the nature, the selfishness within our hearts, to liberate us from that, so that we can be saved from ourselves and be truly cleansed and healed, so that we can begin to help others be introduced to that vaccine that we would call Jesus.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been learning. It's been good stuff.
Crazy time.
Yeah.
It's a good time for self-reflection.
It's a very good time for self-reflection. Oh, before I forget, so the music that we use in this episode is provided to us by Chill Hop Music, and they're just wonderful, wonderful people. Wonderful people. They allow us to use their music, and all they ask is that we just promote them a little bit and just say what's up, and really just acknowledge that they allow us to use their music. And so we thank you for that. This all the music in this one comes from No Spirit is the name of the artist. And again, we're bringing back one of my favorite ones is the song Cruisin', and we've talked about that one before, but I just like the beat. It's like a very, like,
I think we're like fanboys over this.
I'm a fanboy of this. I listen to their music all the time. It's great. And also, while I'm on a roll here, if you're in the mood to help support us and help make this podcast even better, there's 2 things you can do. One, just share this episode with one person, and that's all we ask, is just one person that you think would enjoy this. I got a text message. 2 ways you can support us is, 1, just share this episode with one person, someone that you think would be able to just enjoy this message, and someone who you think would enjoy this podcast that's is turning your gears, then just share it with one person. The other way is that you can go on our website at simplylovejesus.com, and you can buy a hoodie or a t-shirt to be able to just be someone who's bringing some good into the world. We sell these hoodies and t-shirts that say, how can I pray for you? And you can wear that around, and people will say, hey, nice t-shirt, nice hoodie. I'm like, hey, cool, how can I pray for you? And it's just those little small seeds that you're sowing to be able to bring out a harvest of goodness. So, that was poetic.
That was a good transition.
that was poetic right there. All right. The weather's nice today, though.
It is very nice out.
So
it's very nice.
That's good. Well, let us know how we can pray for you. Let us know what we can do to encourage you. We just thought we would, stop in and say hello, and just know that we're still thinking about you and trying to be able to find a more firm schedule for you, to be able that you can regularly tune in and give us your feedback, because we don't know what you think unless we don't know what you think unless you let us know what you think.
That is true.
Mull over that one.
Words of wisdom.
All right, friends. Well, we hope you have an amazing day. We will talk to you soon, and thanks for tuning in to this little bit of a shorter episode. So we'll see you later.
See ya.